Christopher Bell winning last week means there are only 2 playoff spots left up for grabs. Now there are 6 races to go in the regular season, so today I thought it would be fun to look at the remaining bubble drivers who aren't yet locked in with the win, and discuss which of these remaining 6 tracks gives each driver their best chance to find victory lane. How's it going, y'all? My name is Eric. Welcome to Out of the Groove. I'm super excited. By the time you're watching this, I'm probably on a plane up to Pennsylvania. My first time visiting Pocono Raceway, my first time in Pennsylvania, period. I'll be at the track the next couple days, and if you missed it, yesterday I announced an official meetup I'll be doing. Actually, Saturday and Sunday, I'll be hanging out at the NASCAR pole position / Out of the Groove tent inside the track along Earnhardt Road. We've got 2 designated times that I will for sure be there, so if you're at the track this weekend in the campgrounds, in the infield, be sure to stop by and say hi. We should have some pretty cool sponsor swag to give away as well. I can't wait, should be a really fun time. Now before we get into today's video, we do have to thank today's sponsor, Black Rifle Coffee Company. You've probably seen them on Noah Gregson's number 9 car in the Xfinity Series this year. Black Rifle Coffee is a veteran-owned business, proudly serving great coffee and content to military veterans and first responders. But anyone can get in on the action. Black Rifle has a diverse product portfolio, including whole bean and ground coffee, coffee rounds, and ready-to-drink espresso beverages. If you head to their website, blackriflecoffee.com, that link is down in the description below, you can sign up for everything from single purchases to subscription purchases that deliver amazing coffee, apparel, and more directly to your door. You can also find those ready-to-drink espresso beverages at select retailers around the country, including especially Bass Pro Shops. Visit their website again to find the nearest retailer near you. Thanks to Black Rifle Coffee for supporting the show and sponsoring this episode. Like I said, today's gonna be kind of a fun one. The last couple weeks we've been bogged down by heavy, hard-hitting news and shocking announcements, so today I thought we could sit back and enjoy the chaos of the playoff win-in-you're-in system. 14 drivers have won this year. Only 2 drivers right now are in the playoffs on points, but despite having a 108-point cushion there, Blaney is still in a precarious position. Why? Because there are still 6 races until the playoffs begin. Plenty of opportunities for drivers below the cut line to nab a victory. And we've got some wild card tracks coming up. Pocono this weekend, it's called the Tricky Triangle for a reason. Indianapolis Road Course and Watkins Glen are still yet to come. Both road courses, we've seen 2 first-time winners on road courses this year. Richmond, we saw the spring race this year come down to strategy. Michigan, big, wide open, high speeds. Who knows how that track will race? And of course, Daytona, the regular season finale. Anyone can win there. So today I'm going to look at each bubble driver individually, and I will tell you which of those 6 tracks, those 6 races, gives them their best shot at winning and making their way into the playoffs. Of course, if we do end up with more than 16 different winners, the lowest guy in points with only 1 win will get knocked out, but we're still at least a few weeks away from that coming into play. So let's just start with where are these guys gonna win. Let's start with Ryan Blaney. I think Ryan Blaney could win just about anywhere. He's won at Pocono before. He's won at a road course before. He won the Summer Daytona race last year, I believe. But that race is kind of a wild card. I actually think Blaney's best shot to win here before the playoffs is Richmond in a few weeks. In the spring, he won the pole and led 128 laps, ended up finishing 7th. Again, the finish of that race came down to strategy, but Blaney had speed. And you look at some of the other shorter, flatter ovals this season, he's run really well. He led laps at Phoenix and Martinsville early this season, finished in the top 5 both times. So yeah, I actually think Ryan Blaney's best shot to win is Richmond in August. Richmond starting off strong here because Martin Truex Jr., I also believe his best shot to win is Richmond. I mentioned Blaney led over 100 laps there. Martin Truex Jr. led 80 and finished 4th. But Martin Truex Jr. has an extremely strong history at Richmond. He's won there 3 times since the start of 2019. And I know it's been kind of an up and down year for Toyota at times, a little inconsistent, but they have won 6 of the past 8 Richmond races. Toyota typically owns that place, so I feel like Martin Truex Jr.'s best shot to win will be at Richmond. I know a lot of y'all are screaming Watkins Glen, but Truex scared me at Sonoma. He did not run well there earlier this summer. Kevin Harvick, right now the first guy out of the playoffs, likely needs a win to get in. I think his best shot is Michigan, one of his best statistical tracks historically. He has 5 career wins at Michigan, 7 second place finishes. Somehow I kind of forgot about this, but he actually won 3 straight Michigan races from 2019 to 2020. Granted, different car, completely different rules package than what we're going to see here in a few weeks, but that's still noteworthy. Harvick has started to show more speed recently, like he had a legit top 5 car in New Hampshire last week, and you go back to the very beginning of this year, he finished 7th at Auto Club Speedway, which is the only other 2-mile cookie cutter oval on the schedule. That was early in the season. They're showing a little more speed right now, if you ask me, so I think Kevin Harvick's best shot will be Michigan. Aric Almirola, I have to say Daytona is his best shot, and there's a lot of guys I could probably say this about because it is such a wild card, but Aric Almirola is one of those that stand out. He's got 2 of his 3 career wins at super speedways. Daytona in the summer was the site of his first ever Cup Series win. He's continued his strong super speedway performance this year, finished 8th recently at Atlanta, he was 13th at Talladega earlier this spring, and he was 5th in the season opening Daytona 500. You know, Aric Almirola has only led 6 laps this year, and all 6 were at the first Atlanta race, which is basically a super speedway. Moving on to Erik Jones, the boy from Michigan. I think Michigan is his best shot to win. He finished 3rd at Auto Club earlier this year and led 13 laps. That was probably that 43 team's best race this year outside of a super speedway. Obviously, I could have penciled in Daytona here instead, but Erik Jones is from Michigan. I went back and looked at some stats from his rookie season in 2017. He finished 3rd at Michigan as a rookie. I don't know, I'm going to lead towards Michigan being his best shot. Daytona is such a wild card. It turns into such a cluster at the end. I feel a little better about his shot at Michigan. And I'm going to say the same thing for Austin Dillon. Austin Dillon finished 2nd at Auto Club earlier this season. Again, the only other 2-mile oval on the schedule. Austin Dillon's finished in the top 10 of 5 times in his career at Michigan. Not like his best track or anything, but he's been pretty good here throughout his career. But I'm reminded of last season. Again, completely different car, completely different rules package. But last year at Michigan, Austin Dillon was like top 5 in both of the stages and was in contention for a great finish until he and Brad Keselowski got together and a huge crash ensued. Perhaps that was the start of the feud we saw break out in New Hampshire last week. Either way, last year Austin Dillon was good at Michigan, didn't get the finish he deserves. I think this year he's got a good shot at getting that great finish. Michael McDowell, I think his best shot's going to be a road course. Obviously he's won at a super speedway in the last 2 years, but he's been so great at road courses this year. 2nd at Sonoma, 6th recently at Road America. Sorry, 3rd at Road America. Didn't mean to do Chris Buescher like that. He also finished 13th earlier this year at Circuit of the Americas. So 3 very solid finishes for McDowell on road courses. I looked at Watkins Glen and said maybe Watkins Glen makes sense, but his best career finish there is only 12th, and that was in Levine Family Racing Equipment back in like 2017. Not bad, but it's enough for me to look maybe at the other road course. The Indianapolis road course we'll be at in about a week. I think McDowell's best shot is at the Indy road course. That's just me. I'm excited to see what he can do though. I think he is a true dark horse in all of this. Next up, Justin Haley. This is an easy one. Gotta say Daytona. All of his Xfinity Series wins. Every win he got driving for Kaulig in the lower ranks came at a super speedway, and he's actually won a cup race at Daytona before in 2019, rain shortened. This one's an easy call. Haley's had some good runs elsewhere this year, but I think a super speedway is the only place he has any realistic shot at snatching up the checkered flag. Bubba Wallace. I know you guys are all expecting me to say Daytona. He finished 2nd there in the spring. I think he was 2nd there in the summer last year. But that 23 car has started to show real speed outside of the super speedways. They were great at Kansas until pit road mishap cost them. They looked to have top 5 speed at the Coke 600. He had top 5 speed at New Hampshire this past week in a completely different style oval. He's going to be good at Daytona, but I don't think we have to look at the 23 as a one-trick pony right now. I'm watching Bubba Wallace very closely this weekend at Pocono. He finished 5th and 14th in the 2 Pocono races last year, back when 23XI was still a fairly new team trying to find their stride. Clearly, 23XI has more speed right now than they did at any point last season, so I'd look at Pocono as a real shot for Bubba Wallace to make some noise. Ricky Stenhouse Jr., another one. You guys are all probably expecting me to say Daytona, but Daytona can just become such a mess so quickly. You hate to put all your eggs in that basket. For Stenhouse, I'm also going to throw out Michigan. Both of Stenhouse's Cup Series wins have been on super speedways, but this year he's finished 28th or worse in all 4 of those races. This year, Stenhouse has actually flourished best on some of the more intermediate style tracks. Like, he finished 10th at Auto Club back in February, and then he was 8th at Darlington, 8th at Kansas, and 7th at Charlotte. He finished 12th at Michigan last year. He said just last week that he struggled this year at tracks where you need to use the brake. you don't need to use a lot of brake at Michigan. So I think this fits Stenhouse's wheelhouse. I think Michigan is his best shot to break through and get a win. I want to wrap up with the 2 RFK cars. I know Keselowski is a little further down in points, but he just had a top 10 at New Hampshire. Let's be honest, he has a better shot at breaking through and getting a win than Todd Gilliland or Harrison Burton does. But let's start with his teammate Chris Buescher. I'm looking at Watkins Glen. He's finished in the top 20 in each of his last 4 Watkins Glen races, and that's been not only in Roush car, but that's also going back to his days at JTG Doherty. Obviously this year he's been great at road courses, 2nd at Sonoma, 6th at Road America. I thought about putting in the Indianapolis road course here instead because he did finish 12th there last year, but I figured I'd give Buescher Watkins Glen and McDowell Indianapolis. It'd be great if both of them broke through and won those respective races for maximum playoff bubble chaos. And lastly, I do want to mention Brad Keselowski because he is Brad Keselowski. I know this has not been a good year. This new startup at RFK has not gotten off the ground quickly, but he deserves some respect. I think he still has a legit shot at winning Daytona and making his way into the playoffs. We forget, he won his dual race all the way back at the very beginning of the season. He did do that. And he does have a history of winning big super speedway races in the clutch, so to speak. Especially around playoff time, that fall Talladega race comes to mind. I'll also be watching him at Michigan. We know Ford always highlights that race. All the manufacturers do really, but Ford typically thrives there. We'll see, but Daytona is probably Keselowski's best shot. There you have it. Went through a bunch of bubble drivers, told you which track they have the best shot at winning at, locking themselves into the playoffs potentially. Let me know what you guys think. Share your thoughts down in the comment section below. I appreciate y'all watching. As always, if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. We talk NASCAR news, we react to races, rumors, and much, much more every single day here on Out of the Groove. Again, I will be at Pocono this weekend, so I hope to see a lot of y'all out there. As always, a big thank you to my Patreon supporters as well. Couldn't do the show without your very generous and consistent support every single month. I truly appreciate it. I will see you all at the track this weekend. Should be a great time. I'm excited. I will see you again very, very soon. Have a fantastic rest of your week.